Noëlle, also known as Mrs. Worthington's Party, is a pretty nice film. This was released in 2007. It's written and directed by David Wall, and it stars Wall as Father Jonathan Keene. And Keene goes to this little town to assess the church and is basically going to be shutting down this parish. It is a dying parish and there's no need for it to be open, seemingly. And the film is all about him spending time there, meeting the people, obviously assessing the church, and the film is ultimately about faith and community, and we do spend quite a bit of time in the church, which I really liked, and we get to know a lot of different people in the community. The narrative maybe isn't the most engaging. There are times when it was very slow, but even when it was slow, I found that the messages themselves were really beautiful. The characters were really likeable as well, and even though Keene is there to, well, not do a very pleasant thing, he's still a likeable character, and I still enjoyed following the journey through his perspective and then meeting all of the other characters as well. And it has a mostly religious Christmas backdrop, and it's really sweet. It's really pleasant. I think the only real issue is that there are times when it feels really slow. The film itself is about an hour and a half, so it's not tremendously long. It's not a particularly long film, but there are times when it definitely slowed down a little bit. But as I said, even when it maybe wasn't the most interesting, the messages were still beautiful, and I really enjoyed following the different characters and their different problems and the way they interacted with each other. And ultimately, of course, the big question is, will Father Keene shut down the church? And I'll say no more than that. It's a lovely film, very pleasant, very easy to watch. There are times when it gets a little heavier, a little bit more emotional, but in general, it's not too heavy. Visually, it's gorgeous as well. It feels very wintry and definitely is one that can make you feel all cozy and fuzzy and warm inside. And in general, I can't fault it. It may not be the most exciting from start to finish, but Noëlle, or Mrs. Worthington's Party, is still a really lovely film, and if it sounds like something that might appeal to you, if you like stories of faith and community and coming together around the holiday season, then I'd say Mrs. Worthington's Party or Noëlle is one that's probably worth checking out.